Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is a large piece of driftwood. I picked it up when I was out at Lake Superior last summer, and ever since then I've been meaning to get this prepped. I need to get it attached to a piece of slate and in a barrel of water to leach out as much of the tannic acids as possible before I put it into a client's tank. And the problem is this end here. It is way too wonky for me to be able to attach this firmly to a piece of slate. And also a lot of that material there, the wood, it's been exposed to wind, rain, weather, everything. And it is nowhere near solid enough. It's not rotten per se, but it is a little crumbly. And I want to get a nice solid surface attachment to the slate. So I need to cut that. And I also need to cut it as flat as possible. And it is way too big for the table saw. If I try to do that, it's just also way too dangerous, and there's just no way I could get that cut properly. And also, if I try to use a handsaw on this, I was concerned that I also would not get it as straight as possible. Now, this is not how I'm actually going to cut it. This is just some prepping. This is the bandsaw I picked up last year, and it is actually too big for it too. Not so much if I just push it through by hand like this, but I want to, as I said, get a nice straight cut. So I need to put it on something I put together, which is a saw sled for this. Now, those of you who've watched the channel for some time know that I used to do an awful lot of machining and building on this, and I've been telling you for quite some time now, my apologies, that I am going to set up a secondary channel and move all the build stuff like that over onto that channel. And one of those videos is going to be making this saw sled. Now, I am really close now to getting that ready. It should be up shortly. Sorry again for the wait. And for those of you who are interested in those sorts of builds, this is going to be one of them. It's a very simple thing, but it allows me to put this on here and, like I said, hold it at a specific angle and hold it rigidly so that I can shove it through the blade, pass it through the blade, and keep that nice true path so it doesn't alter. Unfortunately, when I first started doing this, I underestimated how much I needed to take off because I want to obviously keep as much of the wood as possible. But like I said, I kind of eyeballing how it's passing through the blade, but as I'm getting closer to the guides, I see that it's going to bump up against it, so I need to pull it out, and I think it's about 2 or 3 more times before I just shave off just enough to get it under there. But in the end, I end up with a nice, clean, straight cut on that, and I guess it makes it worthwhile. So, like I said, those of you who are interested in those sorts of builds, I have a bunch of projects. If you remember, I put together, I think, one of the last build videos I did that had no fish-related thing to it was the acrylic workstation. I'm doing a bunch of stuff for that as well, and hopefully a whole pile of other stuff. So I'll let you know when that comes up. I'm hoping to do something for that next week. But again, there's lots of other work to do. I don't want it to interfere with what I'm doing on this channel. This is my priority. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep at least 3 or 4 videos, get the channel going, and then have them scheduled to launch one a week. And hopefully, because I'll have almost a month's worth of videos before it even goes live, I should be able to at least be able to release one video a week, and again, not interfere with this. So we'll see how that all goes. I'll let you know when it comes up. And I think I finally got this now. I think I have enough of it off, and what I'm going to do here is pass it through that one last time. Now, when it comes to prepping wood of this size, actually pretty much prepping any driftwood at all, don't put it in your aquarium right off the bat. I know lots of people have boiled theirs and done all sorts of stuff to it. Obviously I can't boil this, it's just way too big. My favorite, believe it or not, for prepping driftwood nothing this size of course, but over the years, was actually to put it in whatever tank I was using to breed Plecostomus, because they're actually amazingly good at getting in there and chewing off the loose pieces of wood and getting all that shape. And apparently I was wrong. I have one more shaving to do on this. They get all that loose stuff off, and I find it's also very good for their digestion, having wood in their diet. And also, of course, I find it, well, I'm not sure if this is really true or not, but Long time ago, one of the breeders I used to deal with a lot said that he had a lot of success breeding plecos only when he put in a piece of driftwood for them to gnaw on. So ever since then, I've done it that way, and I breed tons of plecos, so I see no reason to stop. This is obviously going to be way too big for that. I plan on putting it in the barrel that's going to go on the indoor pond I'm putting together. Again, my apologies for the delays on that, but things are open here now, so I have a lot of work to do, so I will get to that as well. So that is coming up. So this should be the last one, and I'll pass this through, like I said, for the final nice straight cut. And like I said, I put it in a barrel of water, and you're gonna see it turns quite tea-like. Something this size is very actually difficult to prepare and get ready for an aquarium. Fortunately, the aquarium is going into is about 400 gallons total capacity, so it does have a lot of ability to resist color changes like that. But I don't really want the client to have to deal with even dilute looking tea in their aquarium. So here we go. This should be it. As you can see, lots of dust comes off of this. That is also wood that's not solid really. And you can see as I cut through, the pieces fall down. It's, like I said, not rotten, not in the core itself, but these pieces on the end here. You can see actually the margin there, where it changes over from to solid wood, which is kind of cool. So there you go. This is all set now. I will prep the actual pieces that it's going to go on. You can see the two sections in the middle there. That's where I'm going to put the screws in, where it's nice and solid. I'm not too concerned about the rest of it. It will definitely just, obviously, there you go. It's nice and straight. Actually, that's the part I really like the most about that. So I'm going to put it in the harder wood there, and that will ensure that it hopefully ensures it stays on the slate. So that's what I need to do now. I need to get this ready. Yeah, it's a little wonky there, but there's a piece of doweling for some reason I didn't even see when I was doing this, and it's sitting on that at the moment. But there you go. That's the angle I want. Looks really nice. It's a very unique sort of centerpiece for an aquarium, and like I say, it's not something you can actually go and buy, which is kind of nice. So this is what I'm going to put it on. It's a nice, really thick, heavy slate. I don't know if it's going to be big enough, or I should say heavy enough to hold it down, but it's going to have a fair amount of time to get waterlogged as well. So this is not a short-term project. This is going to take quite a while. So I keep a bunch of old drill bits, and I keep them for this specific reason, because drilling slate is not difficult, but it is really hard on them. And if you're going to use screws for this, use this type here, the ones that have a nice flat head on them. That way you're not putting a wedge pressure onto the slate and have a chance of it cracking, and it holds it much better that way. So I'm going to drill a countersink on these, and that way the head is below the slate line, because you don't want metal on glass. You don't want this to sit on the bottom of the tank and obviously risk putting a pressure point and cracking the bottom of your tank. It'll also be really bad, especially on a 400-gallon aquarium. So this is going to get drilled in like that. And the other thing, because I don't trust stainless anymore, I will cap these with a daub of silicone just to seal them off. So there you go. It's nice and recessed, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. And now it's just a simple matter of doing one more and attaching it to the slate. So, like I said, this is really easy. There are sometimes you'll get slates that have a bit of inclusions of other rocks in them, and they are much more difficult to drill through like this. But when you have a nice clean piece of slate like this, it's actually quite straightforward to drill through. Now, the other thing I need to do is use, these are just pieces of aluminum, and I tried out a couple of them there just to hold at first off, the right angle. And secondly, I don't want it all the way on one side of the slate. I want it fairly centered. And that is going to, give me this nice clean surface. You see how well that went up and how it doesn't move around much? That is, like I said, nice and flat, which is going to make this really, really straightforward. The other thing I'm going to do, probably off camera and before I put this in the barrel, is I'm going to pop that back off again, and I'm going to silicone it to the bottom. Now, you'll notice I am tightening these by hand at the end. Again, you don't want to put too much pressure on that slate. It is not the hardest material in the universe, and you could easily end up cracking it, and that's, again, going to ruin its ability to hang on to the wood. So there you go. It's all done. Let me know what you think. Leave comments below. And as this gets prepped, I will give you updates on this. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.